Christmas at the Shadow is a film that I'd been waiting to see for such a long time, and this is largely because I thought I was going to watch it either last year or the year before, but it was incorrectly labelled. It was actually another film called Chateau Christmas, so I was excited about seeing it, and then I couldn't, and finally I've been able to see it. I rented it on YouTube, and I would say it was worth renting it. It took a little time to get going, I have to say. I wasn't really enjoying it for maybe not the entirety of the first half, but it definitely took a bit of time. But once it got going, really thoroughly enjoyed it. And also not completely predictable either, which is quite uncommon for this kind of film. So I rather enjoyed that as well. This was released in 2019. It's directed by Jason Hudson, and we have a screenplay by Joe Brinnon, Jason Hudson, and Becca Stallard. And we have a cast including Kinsey Leigh Redmond and Justen Jones. And this focuses on the Shakespeare Chateau. And as soon as I saw the exterior for the house, this is the family home, the Phipps family home, and it later became a bed and breakfast. And as soon as I saw the exterior, I thought that's one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. So I went to the filming locations on IMDb, and apparently it is actually a real place called the Shakespeare Chateau in Missouri. It is absolutely stunning. And unfortunately, the bank is threatening to foreclose by Christmas Day. And the sisters have to try and find a way to solve this problem. We also have a romantic part of the film where our protagonist, Brooke, she finds somebody's book and texts this person to say she's found their book. Maybe not the most realistic, but as a book fan, I rather enjoyed that. And she has this text relationship with this other person. And we, the viewer, know who it is. I won't go into too much detail. I don't want to spoil it, though we do find out pretty quickly. But we know who it is. She doesn't. And obviously she doesn't meet this person straight away or anything. So while they're trying to save the chateau, she's also having this relationship over text. And I think one of the reasons why I didn't love this to begin with is that the narrative felt very chaotic in the beginning. It felt like we were jumping around a lot. I feel like it took quite a bit of time for the two main parts of the narrative to start running smoothly side by side. Up until that point, it felt a little bit disjointed, and that's maybe why it wasn't quite as enjoyable. But once it got going, everything flowed really well. The pacing was really good. And as I said, not completely predictable either. It definitely is in some ways, but not in some others. And I always enjoy that when something isn't predictable. So in general, we have a good narrative. It's a great concept, generally well executed, very likeable characters, great performances, some really beautiful wintry Christmassy scenes. It's not over the top with Christmas. As I've mentioned many times, I do love Christmas films that are over the top. That's not the case here. I don't mind that. But I know some people may actually prefer them when they're maybe not completely in your face. And in general, I don't have any real complaints about this. I thought Christmas at the Shadow was a good story. Once it got going, I liked the characters, I liked the narrative, the wintry aspect was great, and the chateau is just, it's ridiculous. It's so stunning. Even if you don't watch this film for whatever reason, if you decide the narrative's not for you, have a look online at Shakespeare Chateau. It's just so gorgeous, absolutely stunning. You can stay there as well. It is a bed and breakfast, and I had a look online, and honestly, the rooms, the suites are all named after Shakespeare plays, and it's not that expensive. I was expecting it to be high hundreds because it's just a luxury accommodation, absolutely. And one of my dreams, I'm just going off on a tangent now, I've basically finished talking about the film, I'll sum up in a moment, but one of my dreams is to visit every single state, all 50 states. And obviously there are many states where I don't currently have a reason to go there. Maybe Shakespeare Chateau would be a good reason to visit Missouri one day. It is absolutely beautiful. The film itself, very happy with it. Not perfect, but I'd say I still enjoyed it. And it was worth the wait, as I said. I can't remember which streaming site claimed to have it a couple of years ago, but then it ended up being Chateau Christmas, which I'd already seen, which is also a good film. Very different, but good. Different to this film, I mean. And I'm glad that I finally got round to renting this. It's not perfect, but Christmas at the Chateau is still an enjoyable film, and if it sounds like it might appeal to you, then I'm happy to recommend it.